Welcome back, everyone, to Runeterra's favorite listening station, Good Morning Runeterra, where every region has a voice and every story finds its place. This is your host with the most, Voy, and today we have some special guests for you all. But rather than tell you outright, I'll give you a hint with today's region in focus, Demacia. Their cities rise like alabaster cliffs, its gleaming petricite walls standing as both shield and symbol against the chaos of magic. Within, pristine streets and statues of heroes reflect a kingdom as unyielding as the ideals it defends. At the very least, that's what the travel brochure says. But before we learn more, why don't we take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Xin Spear Point Academy. Looking for discipline, strength, and the unshakable will of a true Demacian? Then sign up for Xin Spear Point Academy, the premier training ground for aspiring warriors who want to master the art of combat and defend their homeland with pride. From spear techniques to battlefield tactics, Xin will sharpen your skills and temper your resolve, one swing at a time. Here's the deal. Mention the code TOTHEARENA when you sign up in person to get 15% off your first month of training. Whether you're a recruit looking to make your mark or a veteran sharpening your edge, Spearpoint Academy has what it takes to turn you into a legend. Remember, courage and discipline are a sharper blade than steel. Once again, that's code TOTHEARENA for 15% off your first month. I've actually had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Zhao during one of his training sessions, and let me tell you, there's just no one else quite like him. Really humble, nice guy. And the thing is, people have asked me how I like to stay in such good shape, and I'll tell you, you wouldn't be saying that to me if he and I were standing next to each other. The guy treats his body like a Shuriman temple. Definitely a testament to his training regimen. Okay, so as many of you are aware, Demacia has had a long-standing feud with Noxus Witch. Sidebar, that episode is coming soon. But yeah, those two have been at each other's throats for as long as anyone can remember. And much like two bickering siblings, a lot of who they would eventually become has been shaped by this rivalry, and no one knows how it started. Seriously, think about it. What started this animosity between them that's just been whittled down to ideological differences? Yes, people have died. Rest in peace. But it's always claims of barbarism, caste hierarchy, blah, blah, blah. I personally think the explanation might be simpler than that. What we know for certain about Demacia: they don't tolerate magic. Their infrastructure is based around it, internal policies have been dictated by it, and to a degree, I get it. Who hasn't found themselves taking a stroll through their local park or forest and been accosted by magical creatures offering trades? Like, no, ma'am. I think I'll keep my eyes, thanks. Okay, so what does any of that have to do with Noxus? Stick with me now. Unlike Demacia, Noxus has no qualms about the use of magic, and given the two's proximity to each other, would it be any surprise that they would come in contact with each other well before official animosity took hold? Perhaps what ended as a blood feud started as a lover's scorn story. Now picture this: a noble Demacian venturing outside of his beloved city in an attempt to find out about the types of threat they face outside their walls. He finds himself in Noxus, out of his depth, with a sword bearing down on him until a beautiful woman appears, shielding him with magic and allowing him the killing blow instead, saving his life. Naturally, his next course of action is to kill her too, except she saved his life. But acts of kindness don't always lead to kinder souls down the road. For a time, the Demacian noble and Noxian mage get to know one another, albeit a little uneasily, but from there, romance blooms. But such a love could never last. When his mage lover wipes out an entire army on her own, he is forced to grapple with the realization of how dangerous she is, and he stabs her in the back. Well, literally. She survives, but their love doesn't, sparking a bitter feud in place of what could have been the start of acceptance and progress. And to this day, Noxians and Demacians alike see the other as dangerous and treacherous. That's about as much of my history speculation minor that y'all are going to be getting today. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome our two guests of the show, Garen and Lux.
That's Garen and Luxana of House Crownguard to you.
But of course, my apologies.
Thank you for inviting us. It's always a pleasure when we get invited to interact with the public.
Of course. As you both may know, Good Morning Runeterra is the foremost, and by technicality only, audio show in the world. And I am, if nothing else, a public servant, much like you two. So, normally, I like to invite guests to introduce themselves, answer some questions, get their perspective on the news of the day, or maybe answer some fan questions, that sort of thing.
That's more or less what we discussed when before agreeing to be on your show, among other stipulations.
Right, and I'd like for you to get your say. I'm sure the people of Demacia would love to know more about how their nobility lives and how it serves its community.
Of course, all of the noble houses have been working closely with the king to make our realm a safer, more prosperous region. Most recently, we've been establishing a network of communication and sanitation stations throughout our territories. As for myself, I have been hard at work securing our borders from incursions, both old and new, by personally overseeing the training of our newest recruits.
And while that all sounds great and impressive, perhaps we can discuss some topics outside of the public domain.
And that would imply.
If you're asking about personal topics of interest for your show, there's actually some really fascinating research out of Piltover I'd love to discuss. While we grew up in positions of privilege here in Demacia, I always saw myself as a kindred spirit with the people of Piltover, always innovating and seeking to know more. I personally see the potential benefits of Hextech to be an incredible resource in the near future. I reached out to the creators years ago to discuss the opportunity for mutually beneficial.
I believe we should avoid such controversial and unapproved topics. Although, who's to say that perhaps Piltover's not onto something? That is, perhaps all uses of magic aren't. I mean, if it can be used in such a way, at least perhaps not everyone who can use magic is. Never mind. Anyway, I believed we agreed to do a handful of pre approved questions, potentially one of those nonsense personality quizzes, and then finish this spectacle with some of my trademark witticisms.
And while I would never want to deprive the good people of your well known wit, I just knew I had to start off by asking you about something an anonymous listener brought to my attention recently. Uh, now, Garen, I can call you Garen, right? No need for formalities. I I can feel you staring into your microphone. Don't tell me you're afraid of an itty bitty question. And from a self reported fan, no less. I've even sweetened the deal by having some freshly brewed tea delivered, just for our esteemed guests. Then, once we're done, we can figure out which amphibious creature Lux most resembles, a la one of those, quote, silly quizzes.
Aw, come on, Garen. What harm will addressing one little question do? Besides, this tea smells pretty good. I think I'm detecting hints of Ionian ginseng and. Is that cinnamon?
You clearly know your teas. The cinnamon is actually freshly imported via bilge water, as a matter of fact.
Well, suppose we can answer one question.
Perfect. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. Is it true that someone high up in the Demacian hierarchy might be a mage?
What did you just say?
My source on this goes on to say that not only does the public not know about it, they've done such a good job hiding it that not even their family knows.
Uh, uh, uh,
And what's more, it's not just any higher family, it's a member of your own house, the Crown Guard.
uh,
This is ridiculous. Why would you possibly think that Crown Guard is a mage?
The source also goes on to say that several eyewitnesses can attest to these claims.
What is this nonsense? Do you know how difficult it would be to hide this? If it was even true, which of course it's not true, of that I can guarantee you.
yeah, that would be crazy.
Are you all right, Lux? You seem to be a little out of sorts. Your
Racing around like a little scuttle crab.
Scuttle crab? Who? Me? I'm fine. I'm like the most fine right now.
She's just had too much tea today. The caffeine is getting to her.
From an herbal tea. Interesting. Um, well, either way, it's funny that Garen, you of all people, is outraged by these claims because I have it on good authority that it's someone close to you.
Look, I can assure you this is untrue. My
It
sister.
is you, isn't it, Garen?
Wait,
What?
what?
Yeah. Quote, eyewitness accounts have supported the claim that Garen of House Crownguard may be a hidden mage. While this may initially sound far-fetched, given his history on the subject, multiple citizens have seen a blinding light coming from the Crown Guard estate in the very early hours of the morning, not possible with conventional light sources, suggesting the possible use of magic. What's more, in various battles that he has participated in, eyewitnesses have seen a massive gleaming blade falling from the sky to smite his foes specifically, out of nowhere and without explanation. End quote. Thoughts?
This is preposterous! Downright slander!
Yeah, I mean, if a crown guard even was a mage, it definitely wouldn't be Garen.
Exactly. It would be. I mean, that is. It's certainly not me or Lux. Definitely not Lux either. If these rumors were even true, which again they're not, so that would be ridiculous.
Now, first off, calm down. Let's take a breather. If this is true, you're making it way too obvious. If it's not, you're not helping your case. Second, I don't know who exactly is purporting this. They just signed off the note off as, let me see here. First initial S, last name Wayne.
S. Wayne? Hold on a sec.
Of Demacia?
Look, this is crazy. I mean, who in their right mind would think that Garen, of all people, could be a mage? I mean, that's even less likely than if, I don't know, say I was.
Demacia!
And that's our show, folks. Tune in next time when we investigate claims of a secret cabal of leaders running the world from the shadows. And no, I don't mean Boros.